Bitcoin is number one, and it ain't no second best. Y'all might have heard Michael Saylor say that, but that shit is true. I've been doing the math, and I've been thinking about all the other stuff you can invest in. And Bitcoin is probably the least riskiest thing that you can invest in. You're thinking about houses and like rental property and stuff like that. I was just thinking about that. I was like, dang, man, I could get me some rental property or something like that. You know, got to cash out one day. But it's dumb. Like, for one, the house is not going to appreciate more than Bitcoin. Bitcoin is like what they call a CAGR. That means how much it's been returning on average year after year. And it's like 65%. Or a little bit better, like 83% if you go back all the way in time, but like the last 10 years or so, it's like 65%. Your house is not increasing in value at 65%, your rental property. So that already is the better investment. And you might say, okay, well, let me get some monthly income from that. Yeah, the monthly income will help you. It's nice, right? But mostly like the $200,000, $300,000 houses, people not buying those cash. So they're probably putting a certain amount down on them, and then they have to make the payment, which all rental people always say, make somebody else make the payment for you. So basically the bank owns it. You wasted your down payment, and you're probably pulling off $200 or $300 a month on something that got a lot of risk on it. Like, you got to fix everything in there. Your tenant might tear up your house. It's like so much risk to own a rental property when you could just own Bitcoin and it'll appreciate like crazy. Imagine somebody in 2020, let's just say at the top of 2020, let's say it was $20,000, right? And you versus a $300,000 rental property or something like that. So let's say what it is, like 20% down, that's $60,000 for the rental property, $60,000 in Bitcoin. Now, the rental property probably, let's say the rental property gave you $1,000. The Bitcoin, you got 3 Bitcoin. So you got 300 and something thousand dollars, about $330,000 right now in straight Bitcoin. And now the rental property, it gave you $1,000 a month for 5 years, that's $60,000. If nothing didn't go wrong, you probably got a $450,000 value in rental property and $60,000. All that stress of finding a renter, fixing things, getting a property manager, if you're not the property manager yourself, you gave yourself a whole nother job just to be $20,000 less than owning Bitcoin. And you did nothing by just holding Bitcoin over those 5 years. And that was at an all-time high in 2020. Because you know in 2020, it was like, what, 3,800 at one point in time, and all the way to like 20K at the end of 2020. So if you got in like at 10, you can't be touched. So I say that to say this, because right now you feel like Bitcoin is high, but you're going to be really feeling bad because Bitcoin is going to 1 million, and you're going to be like, I wish I would have got in at 109 and 112. Shout out to the all-time high, 112 yesterday. Shout out to all-time high. You know, this shit right here, it's going to change the world. So you said it's going to change the world? Yeah, it is. But shout out to the all-time high. But Bitcoin is number one and ain't no second best. And I've been discovering that more and more, even with like stock and trading. Like, even trading altcoins, you don't really believe in the altcoins, so you get in and out of them, So most people will say, well, Bitcoin didn't return more than, somebody said something called like Popcat or something over the last year or so. Popcat was at something, you'd have made $30,000 if you put $1,000 in Popcat. But that motherfucker didn't put $1,000 in Popcat. He was scared. He just wanted to argue with me about Bitcoin. See, Bitcoin is safety. You know, it's less risky. Who just throwing $1,000 in a Popcat? Somebody who already got a lot of money and they just gambling. Bitcoin is safer. It's not a gamble. So I don't play those games. So we just gonna go ahead and grab Bitcoin. Now, if you got a lot of wealth and money, yeah, you might hear those stories of people actually putting in a lot of money in these shit coins and making more money, and more power to them. But when you make that money, right, where do you put it? Where do you put it? You're always gonna come back to the best value holding asset on earth. You only making that money to get more Bitcoin. So let's stop beating around the bush and just get the Bitcoin. If you're not making that money to get the Bitcoin, then what are you doing with it? Everything else is not beating Bitcoin. Not the stock market, not rental property. What else? Not starting your own business, really. Well, starting your own business, yeah, you can do something to beat Bitcoin. But that's a whole lot of risk and a whole lot of work to beat Bitcoin. You want to wait on the value of this asset to get to a high enough value for yourself so you can utilize the financial products that's going to come on this asset. So basically, we got a Lamborghini when you own Bitcoin. You got a Lamborghini, but you're not going to drive that Lamborghini on grass, gravel, dirt roads. You want the pristine racetrack type road to be built so you can use it in the best way possible. That's why you hodl. That's why you hodl. People that hodl back in the day, they own like 10, 20,000 Bitcoin, even 1,000 Bitcoin. They are using their Bitcoin. That's why the price ain't just skyrocketing right now. I'm gonna explain to you a theory that I have. The reason the price is not skyrocketing right now, I believe these people that owns like big whales that own 10,000, they've been sitting on it for 10 years, 12 years and so. And they didn't spend a lot of money, but they like have a lot of money in. They got like 10 million, $100 million in Bitcoin. And they haven't spent their Bitcoin because they're not just going to put it on the exchange and just sell it. I think these Bitcoin treasury companies are offering these people stock options or stock in the Bitcoin treasury companies, and all they do is transfer their Bitcoin to them. Let's say you got 10,000 Bitcoin, you take 1,000 of them, and they give you double the price of Bitcoin in that stock, and then you can sell that immediately. So basically, they're paying double for your Bitcoin, and really they're not paying nothing. They're just giving you stock. You see what I'm saying? So it's stock that they already own by owning the company and deciding to change the dynamics of their company to a Bitcoin treasury company. So it's a win-win for both of them. They actually accumulating the Bitcoin, and they paying you a premium, and you willing to accept that premium because you can sell the stock right away and go buy your same Bitcoin back and still utilize some of the money. So what I would say is, which one of these gonna run out first? The people that's giving up the premium or the whales? Now, I don't think there's a lot of people on earth that holds 10,000, thousands and thousands of Bitcoin. So I think they'll run out first, because everybody believes, well, if you holding it for that long, you at least got to believe it's going to 1 million. You don't think it's going to 0. But the only reason I think they're parting ways with their Bitcoin, because it hasn't been roads that's been built for them like this before. You gotta take the double. You know, you gotta take the double up. If it's 108 right now and somebody offering you double the price in stock and you can sell the stock right away, you gotta take that double up. In my eyes, you at least have to do that, because you can buy the Bitcoin right back. Now, you might have to go to the exchange and boost the price up, but you could buy the Bitcoin right back. So I think that's why it's happening like that. That's why we haven't seen a skyrocket. But the pressure is building up. The pressure is building up. And one of these whales got to give, or these treasury companies on that premium got to give. And that's what I think is the new meme coin, these treasury companies. And that's going to hurt the market, because somebody's going to do that shit at the top. It's going to be $300,000 a coin, and somebody's going to be offering people $600,000 for their coins to just send them over. And that's going to break the market. And that's what we're going to see, a crash. That's what I'm just guessing. Then if you got a difference of opinion, man, drop it in the comments. This your boy, Jake Fever. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Yes, sir.